So hello everyone, how are you all? This is your GKGS mentor Ashish Kumar Singh in front of you, and here I am today again with a very important session. Now students, why I am telling that this session is one of the most important session for all of you. Why? Because of the fact that in this session we are going to discuss about the financial stability report, and this report is published by none other than Reserve Bank of India. ओके तो आरबीआई के पर्सपेक्टिव से, फ्रॉम द एग्जाम्स पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ आरबीआई, आरबीआई ग्रेड बी हो, आरबीआई असिस्टेंट हो, या फिर अदर बैंकिंग एग्जामिनेशंस के पर्सपेक्टिव से भी दिस रिपोर्ट बिकम्स वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रिपोर्ट दैट यू शुड नो एंड रिमेंबर. सो without wasting any time, let's quickly get started and let's get to learn about this report in a very comprehensive and analytical manner. Okay, तो सबसे पहले देखते हैं स्टूडेंट्स कि this report is the 28th report that has been released by the RBI, meaning which कि ये 28वां फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी रिपोर्ट है. इसके पहले बिफोर दैट 27 financial stability report has been released by the Reserve Bank of India. First thing first, now it has been released by RBI. These are very minute things. Okay, we generally remember what is inside the report, right? But we forget what is the report, or when it was started, or what is the number of the what is the edition of the report, and so on and so forth. So I would be requesting all of you to at least remember कि ये 28वां फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी रिपोर्ट है that has been released by the Reserve Bank of India. Now what is in this report is multiple factors and things. सबसे पहला पॉइंट है that global economy is facing multiple challenges. The report is saying that students, the global economy is facing multiple challenges, or rather I would say that the global economy is at risk. Okay, why this question has been put forth by report? Because of the multiple facts that has been ongoing in the world. सबसे पहला फैक्ट है prolonging geopolitical conflict. We all know that Israel-Palestine war जो है, it is at its peak as of now, right? Along with that, we have seen Russia-Ukraine war also. Okay, so these are the examples which says that yes, we can say that geopolitical conflict जो है बहुत ही sky rise पे है. Now how this will impact economy? It impacts the import and export of many nations. Why? Because of globalization, we all are somewhere interconnected. Okay, and because of this interconnection, this particular war zone nations are getting impacted, and because of which multiple other nations who are dependent on these nations are also getting impacted, right? For example, इसराइल का एग्जाम्पल ले लो. बहुत सारे डिफेंस प्रोक्रूटमेंट्स जो है वो इंडिया फुलफिल करती है फ्रॉम इसराइल. दैट इज इंडिया बाइज many defense materials from Israel, right? So what happens ki the Israeli companies get the benefit of these particular trade. Okay, and in a similar manner, sometime Israel also buys many things from us, so the Indian companies get the benefit. So herein we can say that the Israel companies and the Indian companies, both of them are getting benefit, but because of this war like situation, the trade is not at all happening. And if the trade is not at all happening, neither the Indian companies or nor the Israel companies are gaining the benefit. And if they are not getting the benefit, we can clearly say that yes, the economy is suffering. ठीक है, तो पहली बात क्लियर that prolonging geopolitical conflicts does impact the economy. That is, polity has some relation with the economy. Now, दूसरा पॉइंट है increasing economic fragmentation. See students, we the people of India are one, right? So our policies should also be one. अब supposingly suppose कि इंडिया के किसी भी रीजन को उठा लो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लेट अस टेक द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ वेस्टर्न रीजन. सो इन द वेस्टर्न रीजन ऑफ इंडिया there is conflict going on. There is some kind of conflict going on. Okay, now because of this conflict, it should not be done by the Indian government that western region का different economic policy रखा जाए. Okay, and along with that, ईस्टर्न का अलग रखा जाए, नॉर्थ का अलग रखा जाए, और साउथ का अलग रखा जाए. डिफरेंट इकोनॉमिक फ्रेमवर्क या पॉलिसी नहीं रखा जाए. देयर शुड बी अ सिंगल यूनिफाइड पॉलिसी फॉर द इंटायर नेशन. हाउ इट विल इम्पैक्ट, सी अगर डिफरेंट रखते हैं, सो ऑब्वियसली इफ वी कीप द economic policies different, we know that a war zone is going on, or conflict is going on, rather I would say, in the western region of India. अब अगर ये conflict हो रहा है तो western region will suffer, and if that particular region will suffer, the growth of that particular region will suffer, right? So this is the trend that we are also seeing in the entire world. For example, China has recently announced separate provincial development policies for their provinces. In accordance with the particular province, the developmental economic policies will be framed. Now China has given the logic that every particular province has a speciality in accordance with the geography wherein they are located. Yes, that is exactly true, but that does not mean that we can forget and ignore the regions of our nation which are not having any benefit. बहुत सारे ऐसे लोकेशंस हैं जहाँ पे कोई बेनिफिट्स नहीं होता है. हाउ कैन वी लीव दैट? वी कैन नॉट लीव दैट, राइट? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इन राजस्थान, इन द स्टेट ऑफ राजस्थान, majority of the land is marusthal. Marusthal का मतलब बंजर, barren land. Okay, so barren land does not have any benefit, but we cannot leave Rajasthan for that particular thing. Why? Because we are one, so we should have that tendency that we are one, but that is not being followed by the nations as of now, and that is why the economy is also facing challenges. So increasing economic fragmentation होता है. Now because of this increasing economic fragmentation, it is but obvious that the nations do get divided. The mindset of the people gets divided. That particular region is getting more benefit as compared to my region, or as compared to that region. So I will invest in this region, I will not invest in this region, I will invest not in this particular country. Why? Because it is quite possible that fight may erupt within the entire country in the near future because of this disparity. ये सारा चीज दिमाग में घूमने लगता है, and that is why we can remember that economic fragmentation का increase करना is also not good. Large public debt, we all know that there are many companies which are providing loans in a very easy manner. Okay, just 30 minutes you have to do the fill up the form, do the KYC online, and you will get the output in a very short manner. Now suppose there is a company A, okay, that has given the loan to a company B. Okay, now A has taken this money from banks. Okay, A क्या कर रहा है? A has taken this particular money from bank. Okay, बैंक से ये पैसा लिया है. अब बैंक में किसका पैसा है? बैंक is having the money of C, D and E. Okay, let us assume that the bank is having the money of C and D. Now the money of C and D has been given to A by the bank. Now A will give the money to B. A is the company and B is the debtor who is asking for the money. Now B has taken the money, suppose 10K. बी ने ले लिया, 10,000 रुपये बी ने ले लिया. अब ये 10,000 रुपये बी लेने के बाद क्या करता है? दैट बी यूटिलाइजेज दिस मनी एंड डज नॉट पे बैक ए. बी यूटिलाइजेज दिस मनी एंड डज नॉट pay back to this particular company A. Now if A is not getting paid back, it is quite obvious that the bank will also not get paid back, and if the bank will not get paid back, the bank has to ask the government to pay the money of C and D. So in this manner we can say that the government expenditure is increasing. Why? Because of this easy loan giving policies. So yes, it is good that loan should be distributed in a very easy and justified manner. लेकिन easy के साथ justified word भी है. We have to give the loan, but for proper and balanced use, not for non-useful use. So that is also what is making the economy of multiple nations suffer. Okay, so these are the three things that I would be requesting all of you to remember, especially from the perspective of phase 2, कि क्या क्या problems हैं because of which we are seeing that our world economy is facing a crisis. But students, there's one good thing, that India is in good position. Why India is in good position? India is an exception to this particular global economic crisis. अब उसके बारे में समझते हैं. We are having strong macroeconomic fundamentals. What does it mean? It means that basically the policies that governs the nations are very good in India. For example, the proper distribution of money. The proper distribution of money is decided by the Finance Commission of India, right? Now, Finance Commission properly sees and regulates and look after the facts that which particular state need what amount of money. Okay, और उसके accordance में उसको पैसा दिया जाता है. So proper distribution is the key. If you will properly distribute the money, money will be in good hand, and if money will be in good hand, macroeconomic fundamentals will increase. Let us try to more elaborately discuss it by remembering a sentence by a western political philosopher, and the sentence is society is individual writ large. मतलब जो हम होते हैं वही सोसाइटी होता है, या फिर जो सोसाइटी होता है वही हम होते हैं. ओके, नाउ as I said that we are having strong macroeconomic fundamentals. What does it mean? It means that suppose, okay, that we have finance commission. Finance commission gives proper distributed money to Bihar, Jharkhand and Kerala. Okay, just remember this fact. Now Bihar, Jharkhand and Kerala does the proper utilization of that money. Suppose that Bihar has taken rupees 100 and Bihar has taken 100 and used 50 for the public schemes and 50 for the investment related facts, and among that 50 which has been used by the Bihar government for the investment related fact, Bihar has again gained 100. So we can say that yes, Bihar has achieved 100 rupees just from 50 rupees which Bihar has got from the finance commission, and along with that Bihar has also invested 50 rupees for the public management. So in similar manner the finance commission can conclude that yes, if we are giving money to Bihar, Bihar is following that agenda. Okay, and on that basis Bihar government will give good amount of money in the next financial cycle, NFC. ठीक है, next financial cycle में इनको ज़्यादा पैसा मिलेगा. In similar manner, if Bihar government does not follow that mandate, और अगर उनको 100 रुपया मिलता है and they utilize this 100 rupees, just total proper 100 rupees in public parties or government parties or functions. Okay, so what the finance commission will think that no, we should not give this money. So society is individual writ large का मतलब होता है that we are having a tendency of saving and balancing the money in a very proper and justified format. We all do earn money, we all save some amount of money for our future and emergency use, and the amount that we are using we also utilize it in a very proper and dignified manner, right? तो जो हम है वही हमारा देश है. We are born among from our nation, or our nation is born from among us. So in similar manner we can say that proper distribution confirms that India is in good position, and if India is in good position, yes, obvious है that we are having a healthy balance sheet. Why? Because along with the proper distribution, continuous monitoring is also done by one of the finest organization of India, that is RBI. Penalties are very common. We have seen it in our sessions. 8 AM वाले sessions में regularly देखते हैं that penalty is the new common. RBI do imposes penalty, and it is a good thing that RBI is imposing penalty, because of which the NBFCs and banks are thinking that yes, they should regulate the rules, they should follow the rules very properly. Okay, so yes, it is also very good that we are having healthy balance sheet, and because of healthy balance sheet and strong macroeconomic fundamentals, we are having reduction in the fiscal deficit, and inflation is balanced by the policies of the monetary policy committee using the qualitative and the quantitative tools. Inflation को भी balance कर लेते हैं और fiscal deficit में भी कमी आ चुकी है. Yes, it is but obvious that we are using our money in a very proper and dignified manner. We need not to take any loans, right? But if we are not utilizing our money in a proper and dignified manner, we need to take loans. For example, Bihar government has got 100 rupees from this particular finance commission, and they have utilized this particular 100 rupees in a dignified manner, so they need not to get loan from any particular person or organization. But suppose that they have not utilized this particular 100 rupees in a proper manner, as I said, they have utilized it in the public functions or the government functions, तो उसमें क्या होगा, that they have to get the loan from particular agencies or particular persons. तो अगर we are properly utilizing it as it is shown in the healthy balance sheet and the strong macroeconomic fundamentals, we can clearly say that our fiscal deficit or loan getting policy is reduced, and inflation is also balanced by the monetary policy committee. So multiple organizations, multiple committee are at work, which assures that India is in good position when we talk about the financial stability wala factor. Okay, so this is the fact that you need to remember, that global economy is facing crisis, but India is an exception. Now let us quickly move and see about the important data that you need to remember from the exams perspective. सबसे पहले capital adequacy ratio, capital risk to adequacy ratio, इसका मतलब होता है that the capital that you are having and the asset that you are having, that is capital by asset. For example, if you are having 100 rupees to regulate in the market or to distribute in the market, and in front of that 100 rupees you are having 100 rupees of asset, then your capital adequacy ratio is 1. Okay, and it is good to go. That okay, even if you are not able to get back this 100 rupees which you have used, which you have decided to utilize in market, you are having that asset, and hence you can clearly give the loan, give back the money to the persons from where you have get this 100 rupees, and that is CRAR. So CRAR is good, it is 16.8%. Just try to remember that 6 plus 1 equals to 7 and 8. 6 plus 1 equates to 7 and 8. So 16.8% is our CRAR. GNPA is 3.2%. 2 and 3 are again consecutive numbers. So GNPA is 3.2%. Just try to remember that is gross NPA. NPA का मतलब क्या होता है? If any loan is not given back by the person or the debtor for 90 days, तो उसको हम लोग क्या कह देते हैं? This is known as NPA. Okay, and within NPA there are substandard, doubtful and loan assets. Substandard assets क्या होते हैं? If the person has not paid the NPA loan for up to 12 month, 12 महीने के बाद क्या होता है? Doubtful assets, and after a particular time it become the loss assets. Okay, loss assets. So when we subtract this substandard asset from the doubtful and loan assets, it is known as net NPA, that is GNPA minus asset. तो अगर इसमें से एसेट घटा दो तो इट इज नेट एनपीए, इट इज 0.8%. सो जस्ट ट्राई टू रिमेंबर दैट. ओके, सीआरएआर में भी लास्ट में 8 है और यहाँ पे भी 0.8 है. सो 0.8%, 16.8% एंड 3.2% is what I would like all of you to remember from the exams perspective, and also get an idea of GNPA and net NPA and CRAR. Now NBFCs का CRAR है 27.6%, again consecutive number 27.6%, and GNPA is 4.6%, ROA is 2.9%, that is return of assets. इसका मतलब क्या होता है कि जो भी एसेट्स तुम्हारे पास थे उससे तुम्हारा इनकम कितना निकला, तो नेट इनकम बाय टोटल एसेट्स. सो ROA is 2.9% and GNPA is 4.6% for the NBFCs, and that is also what you need to remember from the exam perspective of the financial stability report. Now 2 questions: which number financial stability report has been recently released by RBI is a question for all of you, and another question is the headquarter of IMF and World Bank. Expecting all of you to answer the questions in the comment section, and this is all about the financial stability report. I hope I have made myself clear and your thoughts clear about the financial stability report. I'll be coming up with more such sessions within this or upcoming month. ठीक है, so this was all in the session. Thank you very much for being in the session. I'll be seeing you soon. तब तक के लिए bye bye, जय हिंद, take care and see you soon.